breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
Go first. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it was just from
a little cutting in and out.
I talk to Brian often, weekly actually. Brian and I talk, so maybe I'll try Karen this time and go with that.
Jeez, thanks.
All right. Who would you like Karen to be?
Let's see here. I'd like Karen to be a farmer, actually. And if you could be a farmer that is hesitant towards technology and is kind of set in your ways as far as farming goes, because that's a lot of what we do is try and influence them to consider using data and technology and marketing to help them run their business. And so if you could act as that, and I can try my best to influence at least curiosity.
Yeah. Colorado Karen, you're rocking as a farmer. We have 3 minutes. Troy, take us in.
And what am I farming?
What do you like to eat? What's your favorite food?
Oh, I won't go that far. I'll just be, I guess I'll just be a rancher, like a cow farmer.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Take us in.
Hi, Karen. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Do you have a few minutes to chat?
I do. I have 3 minutes, actually. You caught me at a good time.
3 minutes is perfect. I know you're busy, and especially as a rancher, you're out there in the field all day. So I just really want to share an opportunity with you. We as an organization are really focused on local food health and helping inspire children and parents to help think differently about spending money more locally. And we understand that your farm supports the community quite a bit. So is this something you'd be interested in learning a little bit more about?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know that I need that right now, but sure, I'll hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So do you guys interact with the community today? Do you invite kids out to your farm?
Yes. That's a really fun time for us.
Yeah. And so what we've noticed in working with a lot of dairy farmers is we can help them build more events and more communication in the community with parents and children. And it seems to work best because we know that that's something that you care about, is bringing them out and seeing what life really is as a dairy farmer and how cows are milked. And some kids don't get that experience unless their parents grew up on a farm or they have any insight in it. And so we'd love to maybe come out, share a little bit more about what we do on the farm and share some events in the community that we've done with dairy farmers to show you how it would work.
So that sounds good, but what does that have to do with the technology part?
Yeah, so our platform is actually a giant marketing tool to help consumers find you. And so the community events with kids is just another way to bring them to you. But how we get your word out there about your farm and share information about your valuable practices and the time that you spend in raising that cattle for people is a marketing tool and a giant search engine for people.
Okay, I see. So then how does that work? You just bring people out and then we go from, how does that work then?
Yeah, and so to engage in the online platform, you would simply sign up and list your farm, but mostly like to build a relationship and just share a little bit more with you. And so I understand that you're busy. It could even be just us walking the farm to learn a little bit more about what you do there and see if it's the right fit for you. And then we can talk about like to sign up.
Okay, sure. That sounds like a good plan then.
Great. How about next Tuesday?
That'll work. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Karen. Yep. Have
All
a
right.
great day.
You too. So feedback from our judges. Deepak, would you like to go first?
Sure. So I thought when you were communicating, like I felt what you were saying, but I didn't hear very much energy variance. So it felt a little flat. So that's just from like the energy was when you're talking, like if you just keep kind of bouncing up and then bouncing down just to kind of keep her engaged, like maybe that might be something you want to practice. And then
Yeah.
ask more questions, because it seems like she was asking the questions to you versus you were just communicating to her what you did and what you could offer without you kind of asking, hey, let's build a relationship first, let's build some rapport, and then what pain points do you really have? And then kind of go into, hey, you know, we might have this solution, et cetera, et cetera.
So, brother. And a score?
I would give you a 5 on that round.
Samantha, any feedback too?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the same points, just a little bit more energy, a little bit more, bringing her in with the tone of your voice, creating excitement around what you're offering. I thought you had a lot of great information, and you tied what your product did into her needs and made it about her. I agree, ask more questions, don't allow the customer or the person you're talking to lead the conversation. You do that, and provide them with calls to action instead of, forcing them to, create the schedule or set the appointment. So there was good balance on both sides, just a few little points to draw her in more. So I'm going to give you a 7.5 on it. But I thought it was great and very informative.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Very cool. Great job, Troy. Yeah, Karen, who's next?
Next we have Andrea. So Andrea, would you like to role play with me or with Brian?
Well, I guess let's give Brian a shot.
All right. Brian, are you up and at 'em here?
I am up and at 'em. I apologize if my dog makes noise in the background. It's not a criticism of anybody.
Take us in, Andrea. Who would like Brian to be?
I would like Brian to be an arts organization. Would I say what I would want them to be looking for, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'd say an arts organization that is looking for a way to either reinvent themselves or update to the digital age, and have more outreach to the public.
Perfect.
Let's go. Thank you.
Hi there, Brian. How are you today?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going great. So I wanted to talk to you about your organization and find out exactly what you're looking for.
What I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations. Do you have any?
Well, we can set you up for that possibility someday. So what I do is I help organizations and businesses update their digital life and bring their world online by helping them build either a brand new website or redesigning a website that they currently run. I also help with any kind of internet copywriting that is needed on the website. And I'm actually working with a lot of organizations like yours that are looking for donations and helping them through this digital era of festivals and things that are all online right now, which is a whole new world for everyone. So we have experience guiding people through these situations. What exactly are your main issues for your organization right now?
Well, I appreciate you bringing up everything moving online, because anything that we did in a theater 6 months ago isn't obviously done in the theater now and won't be done in the theater for the next year. And so we are facing some of those financial difficulties related to that. So if you have done something in the past, I mean, when someone says online to me, I think, well, I already have a website. So, but if you've done something in the past that you think I can monetize, or you think we can somehow get donations from, or whatever, I'm definitely interested in hearing that.
Absolutely. There are many, many ways to create content that bring donations. People want something for their donation. Usually they want to have at least something. And if that's entertainment that can be, built and created online and given to people in a different way, it's definitely possible to keep bringing in some donations through many digital possibilities. So we can definitely talk about that soon.
I appreciate that. Can you just give me a 20-second overview of what are one of the two things that you've done that have worked in the past, that I can just get a sense of what you mean by that?
Well, for instance, I have been helping this other organization produce their first ever basically a festival that is a fundraiser made up of plays that are all done remotely online and presented online. And that is bought with a ticket. So this is a performance people can buy a ticket for, and it's all donation tickets. So that's bringing in quite a bit of money for that organization, and that can be replicated for many, many other types of arts organizations.
Okay, so you can set this up where people sign up to a webinar or some sort of process in which there is access to this performance, and you know how to set that up and charge people and get the credit cards and all that stuff.
Yes, all that tech stuff is what we do and what I'm able to do.
Okay, I
Yes.
definitely want to talk to you about that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and let's set up another call.
Yeah.
All right. Andrea, excellent work. Excellent work. How'd that feel for you?
Strange, but good. It's a good exercise, and always happy to get feedback and learn how to get better at that.
Yeah. So excellent. Karen, should we take it to the judges?
Yes, Samantha.
Awesome. A couple of things. I mean, I liked your tone. I felt like you were warm and inviting. You kind of made it comfortable for him to talk to you. A couple of things I would suggest is in your introduction, be specific about who you are and what your goal is, so that they know, what the purpose of the call is. Work on phrases that are powerful and just brief, that you don't want to sound rehearsed when you're talking to him, but things that just come to mind automatically that get your point across and draw him in. I saw a little bit of the same from you that I did from Troy, where you allow them to lead the conversation and you want to be the one to lead the conversation, and be more specific in your questions. Not just saying, what issues do you have with your organization, but saying, what is specific about your organization that you need donations for, and that will help for you to give more specific ideas that relate to them. But overall, I enjoyed listening to the conversation. I thought you did a great job, and I'm going to give you a 7 on that one.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
All right. And Deepak, great job.
Hey, Andrea, I thought you did a great job. You started off, great energy. I felt it. Like she said, you made me feel really comfortable. And I was enjoying that beginning of the conversation. You were asking great questions. What are you looking for? What issues you have? I would have liked to see you create a little bit more rapport with her, or him, right off the bat. Just how are you doing? What's going on with you? Instead of diving right into the product. So create a relationship, and then you can get into the product stuff. I know you're a little bit nervous. There were a couple of stop and starts in there. I thought what was awesome was that he kept saying money, 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 monetize, 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 and you acknowledged it. And you're like, yeah, that's what we do. We take that stuff, put a digital platform, people pay for it. And he's like, I'm in. So I thought you did great. I loved it. I give you an 8.5 on that one.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Andrea, excellent stuff. So Karen, Brian, are we complete with participants?
We have Ray, who is also
Ray
going
has
to
come.
join us.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Ray.
I apologize for that. I didn't have the link, guys. So I was sitting here in front of the computer looking at a blank screen.
Hey, Ray, who are you? Where are you calling from? What are you up to in the world?
Well, my name is Ray Figueroa, or I'm also known as Reynaldo Pedro Santiago Espinosa Figueroa Jr.
Could you hit us with that one more time, sir?
Reynaldo Pedro Santiago Espinosa Figueroa Jr. It's a made up name because, you know, Latins keep all their like last names for like 1200 generations. So I threw that in. I am a 30-year corporate employee who got tired of the corporate ladder games and decided to launch my own business consulting company, basically solving problems, improving bottom line. So I'm the bottom line guy. About as creative as I can get. And in doing that, I started that last year. My former employer has become my top client, and I'm still working for them, which is cool because it's a steady paycheck. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I met Brian. So Brian has been a mentor. Brian has been someone who actually, he was through that transition of when I said I had enough with this corporate game and I want to go off on my own. Brian was the guy who kind of led the path for me and helped me write some of the letters that I wrote when I eventually resigned and said I'm done. Anyone, his writing ability is fantastic. And then he encouraged me and helped me. And then he's always bringing me into these things to try and make me a little bit better than what I was before. So I always appreciate anytime he invites me to any of these sessions or we talk or watch Shark Tank on TV till 3 a.m., which we've done.
That's awesome. So, and how about a fun fact?
Fun fact. I just hit all the walls to my TV and media center behind all the cables behind the wall, which my wife has only wanted for like 2 years. I finally figured out how to do it and I successfully completed that today before this call.
Extraordinary. Well, congratulations on that. And where are you calling in from today, right?
Houston, Texas. Actually, Cypress, which is a little bit northwest of Houston.
Cypress is in the house. And would you like to go from hello to yes with Karen or Brian?
I'm going to go familiar. I'm going to go with Brian.
All right. Who would you like him to be?
All right. So what's the game here? I'm trying to figure out what am I doing?
Yeah, Ray, 3 minutes of going from hello to yes. So the yes can be for a longer meeting. This is not like Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street, right? It could be connection and just get to a longer meeting. You're the bottom line guy. He could be an ideal avatar, business owner. He could be somebody to bring on that has a stage that you can go on to present or anything else you want to do in the world. So who would you like him to be that you're going to go from hello to yes, a yes that matters to you in the world?
I would like him to be a business owner who hates consultants.
Boom. Brian, you're a business owner that hates consultants, and that may be you. So
okay.
You have 3 minutes. Take us in.
Okay. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Okay. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Thank you for joining me on the call today. So I wanted to call and talk to you about how I can help you.
Okay. What would you like to help me do?
Well, I am certain in our conversations that there are pain points that you have with your company that you need help with, but you haven't found anyone trustworthy so far to help you with them. Is that correct?
Well, there are about 400 pain points that I have in my company on a daily basis. So of the 400, which ones do you think you can manage well? And what's your process for that?
Well, I have a basic philosophy, and it is that we're not going to install any new systems. We're not going to hire any new people. And all we're going to do is retool some of your processes. Okay, so where I live and what I do is between your sales order and your delivery of your product, of your service. Every industry, every company in that space, there's commonalities. And there's ways that we can improve your processes so that the service that you deliver to your customer, the enthusiasm of your employees, and then by there, the product that you deliver, the service that you deliver in the end is improved, and it improves your efficiency, it lowers your cost, and it's going to improve your revenue because you're going to sell more. So I don't have any pre-canned, I don't have anything that comes in that says, hey, I have this whiz bang system. I look at you, I study you, I get to know you, and I design what you need for you to succeed.
So when you say sales order through sort of bottom line growth, Just give me a sense of what that means. Is that a numbers thing? Is that we should be using ClickFunnels and not something else? I'm trying to get some sort of steady understanding here of what you're offering.
Okay, so I don't handle marketing. I don't do marketing. I want to be upfront about what my limitations are. Once you have a sales order, the customer has come to you and says, I want to buy what Brian is selling. Okay, between that, how you process and deliver your product, and at the end, in some cases, some people have complicated invoicing that they can't figure out or have trouble how to get the funds from the customer. It's in that operational logistics space that I live. And that's where I help you. I make you deliver your stuff smoother, or you help your people deliver it smoother, where you have a cohesive operation where everyone is on the same page and telling your same story. So as a company, you have a story to tell. You're a guy who delivers whatever it is that you deliver. Sorry, I can't think of a product right now, guys. And there's a story behind it. And we need to grab that story. We need to tell that story, and we need to convince everyone working within your process how great it is.
Okay. So that sounds like kind of internal culture type work, which I'm not opposed to, but you started talking about invoicing, which I'm freaking terrible at. I never get to it. So can you connect the dots between those two things for me?
Absolutely. So one of my previous clients had a very, very complicated project with 150 line invoicing. And one of the things they stressed over was, how do we do this in our current system? The system wasn't capable of handling such a complex invoice. So we solved it simply. We let the system create a one-line invoice. So it creates the invoice number, and then we go offline, and you can use Word or you can use Excel. My preference is Excel, a little bit more flexible, and you create the structure of the invoice that your customer wants. It cuts down on your internal processing time on creating the invoice in a system that really isn't capable of handling it, and it gets you paid and your customers happy with the paperwork that you deliver, so they're willing to pay you, especially when you're dealing with, if you have any governmental agencies, that's a big deal.
Okay, so we should have another conversation. Here's what I heard. Simple processing for me, and you have some sort of back end that makes it simple for me, and I can print it out in Word or something. And
Yes.
So I would continue having that conversation if you have a chance to do that another time.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to have another conversation with you.
Okay.
Excellent job, sir. So how was that for you?
I'm sorry, who are we talking to?
Ray, how did you feel about that?
I was very comfortable because I purposely set up a scenario that I'm familiar with. Okay, so it wasn't like when you guys came up with the farmer or these other scenarios that it was interesting. I was kind of thinking while I'm listening to that. So since this is my first time and I want to impress you guys, I guess my ego kicked in. I chose something that I knew really, really well. So it was in my world. I was very comfortable, and I know Brian, so that kind of made it much easier to talk to him.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna, Karen, Brian, again, great job, Ray. Let's take it to the judges, and I'm gonna leave it in your capable hands. But all of you fine folks, let's remember that there's an extraordinary difference in our ability to use influence as a superpower integrously and knowing what to do with it. One of my favorite stories for the last week or so I've been recalling upon is when I hired 4 different people to come work for me to build a training and development company about 17 years ago. First person booked 0 meetings, second person booked 0 meetings, third person booked 0 meetings. All these people started at the same time, and they all said the same thing. The leads are bad. This is not the right opportunity. The economy, the timing, all of these beautiful things. These are nice people, hardworking people. And the fourth person, after the first 3 booked 0, 0, 0, and they all were like, yeah, like this doesn't work, booked 30 meetings in 2 weeks. And when I asked, why was the result so different? He's like, I don't know, I just talk to people. And of course people want this. It's awesome. And so the difference in our influence is not linear. It is not even exponential, right? Because there's no number you can multiply times 0 to get to 30. It can be infinite. So thank you guys. Karen, Brian, awesome. Back to you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean. So Deepak, what do you have for Ray?
So Ray, I love your congruence and your confidence. Like when you're talking about your solution, you know exactly what you're talking about. And you know exactly how you're going to solve a potential problem. And I say potential problem because I don't think you really identified his problem yet. It's like you went in with the kill without understanding what to kill. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then
Yes, that does make sense. Sorry, I was muted.
yeah. There's a thing, and I think for all of the contestants, it's kind of like mastering the pause, right? So when somebody asks you a question and then you answer it, if you pause for too long, Brian's going to ask another question, but you want to control the conversation. So you want to like master the pause, give it half a second, and then you ask a question to take control back of it so you can continue guiding the conversation where you want it to go. But if you wait too long, then Brian's going to be like, well, I don't know what you're trying to sell me. What? You went from one thing, invoicing, to trying to sell me a story. Like, help me connect the dots. So like, if you master that pause and just keep control and then just keep leading him where you want to go, I think that would be fantastic. But I loved where you're going, loved the congruence. So I gave you a 7.
Thank you.
No, I thought it was a great conversation. You were obviously comfortable in what you were saying and what you were doing, and that came across to Brian. You know, you were very familiar with your product and the goal you wanted to accomplish in the conversation, which is huge. I do agree, you know, just kind of weighing out those pauses a little bit. And I know this situation is one that you created that you're more comfortable with, but in situations where you might not be as comfortable, don't hesitate to ask them specifically about their product and incorporate the name of their product into the conversation, so that they know that it's not just a generalized sales pitch, but that it's really about them. But I think overall, you really did make it about him and his needs. So just a couple of little things there. I'm going to give you an 8.5 on that.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, thank you. Well, it's been really fun getting to know all of you guys today. And thanks for joining again, Troy, and after being on once before, and the two of you for coming in, not really knowing what to expect, and for being brave and doing a great job. So I look forward to getting to know all of you better, though. It would be great to have to continue the conversation.
And Karen, if you don't mind me just jumping in here, and I think maybe Deepak and Samantha can talk about this too, is that to me, what the greatest benefit of Unblinded is to me is, I mean, they have a great system and they're really great at building rapport, and they've systemized it. This is something that they excel at, and so there's a lot of things through Unblinded that are valuable, but forgetting that for a moment, on calls with awesome people and access to awesome people who think well about business. I know that I am very, very cautious about who I introduce, because it's, you know, you have to have a certain personality and desire to do business a certain way, and not everybody has it. But everybody on this call that I know has it. And so I would just recommend that if you haven't done it already, maybe take a screenshot or something of the chat with everybody's, everybody's and hook up. Everybody here that I know does business really, really well and at a really high level, and can help probably everybody on the call. And so I just want to maybe just recommend people do that and be in touch with each other.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Brian, I'll add to that. You know, the difference between the technology Unblinded and Sean has created and everything else on the planet is that what Sean has created is extremely simple to execute. It's 4 steps. It's 4 steps. And I can't tell you how many books I've read, how many seminars I've been to, how many influencing classes I've taken. And then Sean comes along and he's like, all I got to do is these 4 steps. It's simple. And
true.
it's like, it has changed my world. And like, I don't say that flippantly, like I'm literally telling you guys, if you want to improve your influence, just learn these 4 steps. It's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so
Anything else? Yeah, I agree with all of that. This has been not only just learning the 4 steps and all the indispensable elements that we have cultivated here and just really, ingrained in ourselves. It's also, like Brian said, getting to know these awesome, amazing people. And that to me is just invaluable. So that's been and now that I have more people that I've met here today, that's even better. So hopefully we'll see each other once again, and well, more than once again, and continue the conversations.
thanks, Karen.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
y'all.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thanks for having us,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Yes, what's up?